Happy Tuesday, everybody. This is MJ, and welcome to our training broadcast brought to you from the Freedom Boutique Coaching Experience. And I'm your host, MJ Hunter, also known as Coach MJ. Today, we're going to be talking about why $10,000 is not a lot of money. And the reason why this topic comes up a lot is because that seems like the amount of money where people really start gasping and thinking that, oh my goodness, it's $10,000. That's a lot of money. And that's even in the face of having a goal, which is many, many times more than $10,000. If you're saying that you want to be a millionaire in your retail boutique, then you have to recognize that $1 million is what? 100 times $10,000. And so if you have a dream of even $100,000 a year or $500,000 a year in your retail boutique, you have to get to a place where you recognize that $10,000 is not a lot of money. We're going to talk about why that is today. Most of the time, where that feeling of, oh my goodness, that's a lot of money comes from is because, first of all, a lot of times people don't have a realistic view of money. It's easy to say, I want to be a millionaire. There's a television show about who wants to be a millionaire. And that used to be a big dream for people. Now, in today's money, $1 million is also not as much money as it used to be. It's a lot of money because things cost. So but what's going to happen is you're going to continue to play small to sabotage yourself, and you're being asked to invest not only in your business, in your boutique, the inventory, and the equipment that you need, and entrepreneur in your website, and in all of the supplies and things you to you, then what I'm going to tell you is that it's going to be you. If we just think about it, in order for you to be able to quit your job, no matter the job, and live comfortably, not just replace the income, because if you're being underpaid, you don't just want to start a business to replace that income. You want to exceed that income. To be able to do that and live decent in most places in America, and if you have a family, if you have children, he's still scraping and trying to get by, but now you have a business that you have to worry about, right? So we're looking at $100,000 lifestyle. That's what you're going to pay yourself from your business, right? But any smart entrepreneur knows that you can't pay yourself every dime that comes into your business. So if you are able to cut yourself checks for $100,000, that means that your expenses, your staffing, your inventory, your overhead, and all that's going to cost 2, 3, 4 times as much. So you're almost at $500,000 that you would have to have brought into your business to be able to earn this lifestyle that you say that you want. And $10,000 to make $500,000, well, that's just a drop in the pan. But if you think it's a lot of money, what that's going to do is it's going to help you. It's going to keep you playing small. It's going to keep you saying, well, I spent $1,000 on my business. Whoo, that's a lot. Let me tell you something. If you're trying to make $500,000, bring in $500,000 in revenue, you're going to have to invest, whether it's borrowed money, whether it's money you pulled out of your retirement, whether to live on, right? Whether you are getting donations, no matter where the money comes from, you have to recognize you're going to have to put a whole lot more than $10,000 into your business to get out the outcomes that you want. But we're going to talk today about why it's not a lot of money, because I know there's probably some of you out there rolling your eyes like, MJ, yes, it is a lot of money. I don't have that kind of money. Well, let's look at what $10,000 is. If you earn $20 an hour, $20 an hour, and you work full time, $20 an hour times 40 hours times, well, it's going to work out to about a quarter. So 13 weeks, 1/4 of the year, 1/4 of a 52-week year is 13 weeks. That's $10,400. So if you're thinking about money in terms of how fast you can make your money working where you are now, you're already on the wrong track, because you are starting a business to be an entrepreneur where income is going to exceed your job. So you can't value money based on where an employer is keeping you. But working for your employer at $20 an hour full time, it's going to take you three to earn $10,000. And that might be why you think it's a lot of money, because you had to get up and go to work, 13 weeks times 5 days a week, 65 times, and work 40 hours, whatever that works out to. That's over 2,600 hours to earn that kind of money. But guess what? You have to shift your mentality towards money to know that as an entrepreneur, you don't get hours for dollars, right? You don't tell somebody, I'm going to work for 60 minutes and you're going to give me a certain amount, and I'm going to do it over and over for 40 hours a week. And then you give me that little bit of money and you keep what your business earned because of my efforts. That's what you do when you're working for somebody else. But if you are looking at it by working by the hour, $10,000 seems like a lot of money, because you have to work 2,500 hours to earn that. But remember, you're an entrepreneur. How long it takes you to earn it. Well, actually, you don't want to think about how long it takes you to earn it. You want to look at where else you're spending that kind of money, because what's true is that whatever you value is what you put your treasure in. Where your treasure is, that's where your heart will be. That's in the Bible. It's true that you are already spending $10,000, and we've already worked out that if you make $20 an hour, it takes you 3 months to earn that. That means that in 4 years, you've earned, I'm doing all this math off the top of my head, $41,200, right? So, but you're already spending that kind of money in various ways. And if you're not, you would if you had access to the money. So let's look at it. When you think about the average family of 4 vacation, they do statistics on this. I'm not the one doing the studies, but they say that the average American family spends $4,580 on a vacation for 4 people. I'm assuming they're taking the week off. Maybe they're flying somewhere. They're staying in a hotel for 6 or 7 nights. They're doing excursions. They're eating out. And so in that situation, you can spend over $4,000. Now I hear you saying, I'm a budget vacationer. I'm just using these numbers. Don't get caught up in these numbers. I'm just using it to show that people are spending money on things, and why you need to understand $10,000 is really not a lot of money. So let's say you even get away with a vacation that's half of that. Let's say you can do your vacation. You're a frugal person. You can do it for $2,250. Let's say you can do it for $2,250. 4 vacations like that is going to get you pretty close to the $10,000 that we're talking about. But people usually think nothing about going on vacation. A vacation is something that you deserve, right? You've worked hard, you saved up. Sometimes you may only be able to take one vacation a year because you're saving up for it the rest of the year. You're paying off last year's vacation, whatever that's in your current situation. We think nothing of spending $10,000 for 4 weeks of vacation. Remember, or even 2 weeks, depending on how much you spend on your vacations, because that's something that you want to do. But how much of a return do you get for the money you spend? Well, if you think in terms of financial returns, you don't get any. The hotel gets the money, the rental car gets the money, the airline gets the money. The people that do the excursions get the money, the restaurants get the money, the souvenir shops get the money. And again, it's worth it to you. Why? You get to spend those 7 days with your kids and your spouse if you're married, or your boo if you're not married, but you have a sweetheart, and you're not thinking about work, and you're in a great place that you all are enjoying and relaxed. And you're able to do that once or twice a year. You spend that money for the return, but it's not a financial return. It's about emotional, mental health, physical relaxation, things of that nature. And I'm not saying that that's not valuable, but remember, we're talking about spending $10,000 on a business, and that's where a lot of people get to saying, oh, that's a lot of money. Oh, MJ, I can't invest that kind of money in learning how to do business the right way. I'm just going to nickel and dime it and try to do it for free out here on YouTube because I don't want to spend that in my business. Oh, but I want to make $500,000 in 4 years. It gets more ridiculous the more we look at what we're already spending money on that's not giving you a financial return, unlike a business that will give you a financial return. So we talked about vacations. And if you're one of those people that don't take vacations, that's even worse, because that means you work 52 weeks out of the year minus a few paid vacations, and you're not even getting time, but you're spending $10,000 on 2, 3, or or 4 vacations, depending on college is a big one because you go to college. Why? You go to get an education. You go to get training so you can get out, take that piece of paper. I have 2 college degrees behind me, plus a high school diploma and an 8th grade diploma, right? We go in your first job, the amount of money you spent on 1 year in college. So, or again, depending on whether you go to state school or private school. My perspective is private school because that's where I sent my children. And I went to private school for college for a couple of years. Today, college at a state school can be anywhere from $10,000 or $20,000. Private schools is $35,000, $45,000, $55,000, $65,000 or more. But people are willingly signing up and paying for these educations. I won't even say a good paying job. I think we kind of have already drilled holes in the college education myth, right? Not against college educations. I have a couple of them myself. My children are college educated as well. However, your ability to earn is not directly proportional to how much you pay on your college education. There are some people with college degrees that aren't able to work in their fields at all. They're waiting tables or they're doing something in the retail sector or wherever that is. The point is, though, people sign up and spend $10,000 if it's at a state school without batting an eye to spend, 8 or 9 months out of the year learning. And you have to do it 4 times. So now we're not just talking about the $10,560 for the 1 year at state school. You multiply that times 4, and now we're getting into $45,000 that you're spending on a state education. If you're going to a private school, you're well over $125,000 by the time the 4 or 5 years is over, right? But we spend that to make $40,000, $50,000 a year in a job. And today we're not talking about whether you should go to college or whether you should do something else. But already invested much more than $10,000 in a college education. And many of you, part of your desire for wanting to have a business is because you're being underpaid. You're still making 50, 60 grand while you're paying off $120,000 in student loans. But did you question how expensive it was before you took out those loans or before you enrolled? You might have questioned a little bit, but you had been told that it was the best path and you did it. Whether or not that is another conversation for a different day. The point is, even if you borrowed the money, you're going to have to pay it back. That $10,000 that you spent on 1 year at state school, if you had put it into a business that's going to make you money. See, what we're talking about today is things that don't directly make you money. A college education is kind of directly related to making money, although maybe not the money you want to make. Whereas with a business, you get to decide how much money you're going to make because you get to choose your product or service. You get to choose the business model. You get to choose your pricing. You get to choose how hard you work or how much time you put in or how you leverage things so that you can expand and 10x your income. You choose that. With a job, you don't choose that. The employer gets to decide how much time your money is worth or how much money your time is worth. But again, you spent $10,000 over and over, sometimes a few times a year to get that college degree. $10,000 is not a lot of money. Because again, if you're making $20 an hour, it takes you 3 months to earn that. But you might be making more than $20 an hour and it may take you less time to earn that. But it's still not a lot of money when you're talking about making $500,000 in revenue because you invested in a business. Now let's look at cars. Many of you have vehicles. I dare say most of the people I talk to, all my clients, you drive cars. The average American car is $37,876. That's on 4 times the $10,000 that makes people invested many times that in your education. And then you go out and buy a car. You get a car note. So after all the interest on your car note, you're paying $45,000 or more after interest on this average American car. And it depreciates from day one all the way down. When people tell me they make money or cars are a good investment, I just shake my head. They are not an investment. If you happen to be able to sell a car for more than you feel like you paid for it, you're one of the few. But cars are not an investment. They depreciate. They're not meant to hold value. They're meant to be used up and consumed, and then they're going to be thrown away 15, 20 years later, depending on how long they last. But yet, when it's time to get a car, people think nothing of going and spending $10, $20, $30, $40,000 on a vehicle that, yes, will get you from point A to point B. It will allow you to go to work and make that $20 or $25 an hour or less, depending on what your job is. But it's not going to help you get wealthy. Your car is not going to help you get wealthy, especially if it's taking you to a job, because job, I've heard people say this for years, that JOB stands for just over broke. That's what a job is. It's designed to keep you in the place of being dependent on having jobs, as opposed to being able to create wealth, which is limitless from your perspective. Okay. But if you think, if I said to you, go buy $10,000, you would turn up your nose because you're like, I don't know, used car may have issues with it. Da, 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 da. So when it comes to buying a car, $10,000 doesn't seem like enough money. You want to spend more on a car, but then you don't want to spend that same money on a business that's going to earn you income once you build it the right way. That's why it's really about not the dollar amount. It's about your mindset. If you would spend $10,000 on a year of college education, or 4 times that much on a car that's going to depreciate from day one until you have to send it to, what the outcomes are with investing in your business. The outcomes of a well-structured and strongly launched and scaled business is that your income can grow to the 6-7 figure level and beyond. Just depends on how much effort you want to put in and how much development and training you want to get. Because guess what? Just having a business a long time does not mean it's going to scale. You have to get professional training and coaching to know the right ways to scale your business, or it's just going to stay at this level just like your job is, right? Businesses can plateau as well. Okay, so we've talked about vacations. We've talked about college education. We've talked about cars. Let's talk about houses. The average American home, if it is a used home, a home someone's already lived in, the average amount is $260. And of course, this is the average of all 50 states. Places like California. There's some less expensive places like where I live here in the Louisville, Kentucky area, and other parts of the country nearby. $260,000 for a house that has been lived in, an average of $334,000 for a home that is brand new. So a house, if you go into a home right now, they're usually looking for, depending on your credit and all that, between 10 and 20% down. Now, sometimes you can get in for less than that, but let's just use 10% to keep the numbers easy. That means for the $260,000 home, they're expecting you to put down $26,000, which is more than 2.5 times that $10,000. But you think nothing of spending that money on a house. Why? It's going to put a roof over your head. It's going to give you a place to enjoy your family, to entertain, to stay in from the cold, to actually build some net worth, because a house does depreciate unlike a car, right? But you think nothing of it because it seems like it's worth it to spend $26,000 and then pay off the rest of the $240 or $200 because of the value that it has to you. So what is the point I'm making? The point with the vacation, the college, the car, and the house is that you have decided that the house is worth it, that the car is worth it, that the college is worth it, that the vacation is worth it. But here's what's true. You also get to decide how much your business is worth to you. Your boutique, the place you have dreamed about working. Maybe you want to decorate your shop, or carefully curate what your merchandise line is, or interact with the customers. You want to be able to create a college education so your kids don't have to pay that money out of pocket, or be able to take more than one vacation a year like we've talked about, or be able to pay a car or a house and not be stuck with interest for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. That's what your business is worth. Your business is worth more than all of those things combined, because it's going to give you the money and the flexibility and the option to do greater things with that money than you can do with the money you're earning at your job. But many of you don't look at it that way. All you see when somebody says invest $10,000 in professional development, unlike your college education, usually you can get professional development on how to build a business the right way in much less than 4 years. Usually you can get it in 2, 3, 4 months and learn the right way, so you don't waste a lot of money on the back end and a lot of time trying to figure it out on your own. So when you get upset and wonder, why should I spend $10,000 on stuff for my business, whether it's inventory or websites or marketing to get your name out there, or even more importantly, professional coaching so you don't screw it up right out the gate. When you start clutching your pearls at the $10,000, people like me who know what we're doing, because we know the kind of money that you're spending on the things that are important to you. So what this really boils down to is not the amount of money, not the $10,000. That is no money. People earn that on game shows. People earn that on Jeopardy. They earn that on Family Feud for guessing answers in a 30-minute show. What it really boils down to is how important is your dream to you? You say you want to earn $500,000. You claim you want to be a millionaire, but do you really mean that? Or are you just looking for something to say because that's what everybody else says? Because see, the people who mean it, the people who say it and actually go on and do it, they don't think there's a lot of money. $10,000 or $1 million is 100 times $10,000. So if you think $10,000 is a lot of money to invest to make 100 times that amount of money, then you have to question your business. That's not even about business acumen. It's about your mentality towards money. If I could give you $1 to pay for a $100 bill and you knew it was an authentic, I heard somebody say this today, that you knew it was an authentic $100 bill, and I said, give me $1 to give, and I'll give you $100. Who would turn that down? Comment below if you would not give somebody a $1 bill for them to give you a legitimate $100 bill that you could go spend. Well, of course you would do that, because you would be 100xing your investment. You would be making 100 times your investment of $1 when you get. I invest 10K, 20K, even 30K, whatever it is, to make the $1 million or the $500,000 or whatever it is. Because what I will tell you every single day is that in the retail game, there are no free rides. Really, in business, there's no free rides. There are some models that are more leveraged than others, but you're talking about owning a retail boutique where you sell products in exchange for money, and maybe you have services as well. In that game, there's nobody out here giving you anything, especially as a new entrepreneur, as a new business owner. Banks are not lining up to give you money. Everybody thinks they're going to get a business loan. Everybody thinks other people are going to donate and build your dream. But if you are not willing to change your mindset about money and recognize that the amount of money you're talking about investing in your business in the beginning, in the paid advertising, in the professional coaching, in all of those things is well worth the payday, then I have to ask you, how serious are you about your dream? Everybody, that's why the game shows Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Everybody raises their hands. Well, who wants to pay the price? Nobody wants to pay the price. Everybody wants to play lottery tickets and hopefully go on game shows and have a free ride. But you know the lottery winners, the money comes easy, it goes easy. Most of them are broke within 5 years. But when you work for it, when you build your business the right way, when you build your boutique, and you build up people who buy from you loyally and they rave about you to other people and they bring people to you and you pay to reach more and more people. That's the kind of business where your money's not going to be gone 5 years later. You're going to be able to grow it and build it. Whatever it is that you want to sell in your boutique, you're going to have to put something in. And it doesn't bother me because I don't have a stake in your business at all. But it hurts me for your benefit when I see these big dreams. You want your kids to go to college. You don't want to have them to grow up without you. I meet so many women whose mothers are raising their kids for them while they're working 50, 60 hours a week. But they don't want to invest in their business and find out the right way to build it so they can stop working all those hours and raise their own kids. How much is your family worth? How much is your dream worth? How much is it worth to you to have complete control over your time and be able to travel whenever you want to and have the home that you want to and take care of your aging parents and be able to lose the weight that's burdening you down that you know is stress induced because your job is working you to death? All of those things are real reasons that are much more valuable than the things you're spending it on that don't have a return on the investment. The cars, the vacations, the houses do if you sell it. If you live in the house, it's just an expense, right? It only becomes valuable when you're selling it, right? But the point is, $1,000 many times over on a lot of things that aren't bringing in revenue. They're taking revenue out of your pockets. Why not look at $10,000 as a drop in the bucket? That's $1 to get back $100. Even if it's $1 to just 10 extra investment. If I offered you a $10 bill in exchange for $1, you'd be crazy not to take it. Because who wouldn't want that? If I found $10 on the street, I'd pick it up. If I found $1 on the street, I'd pick it up. So it has value. Why is it that when it comes to college and vacations and cars, $10,000 seems like a lot of money? But when it comes to investing in your business that you say you want, then it becomes a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. Either 10,000 is a lot or it's not. And I'm here to tell you it's not. There are people that make that much money every minute, every hour, every day. And it could be you. But you're not going to get it on YouTube. You're not going to get it Googling. You have to invest in yourself. And if your dream is not worth $10,000, and I just focused on that amount because that seems to be the amount that gets people all worked up. That's not a lot of money to me. I'll invest that in something that's going to make me back a 10x or 100x return without batting an eye. And you have to have that same hardcore mentality, that tenacity and that grit towards money, or you will stay broke. As long as you buckle when it's in the future, but you spend money on all this other stuff, spending $1,000 on lace front wigs and all this other stuff we spend it on. And I'm talking to my black ladies out here. I know what we spend our money on, these outfits and all that. Nothing wrong with looking good. But you're spending it on your nails and you're spending it on your hair and on your beat, on your face. But then you don't want to spend it on your business. I say you're not serious. I call BS. But I also know that some of you want to be as hardcore about money as I am, about understanding that, yeah, it can make you feel a little queasy. It can make you feel a little like, oh my God, this is money. But you've learned how to focus on what it's going to get you. Learn how to treat your money and make it work for you instead of you working for your money. That kind of a shift in mindset, that's where you have to go to become a wealthy entrepreneur. It's not going to happen while you play it small. It's not going to happen while you're thinking that a $200 course on and that's going to make me rich. It's not. And I'm out here telling you the truth because so many people on the internet are building people's hopes up in a false way, and it's not good. And I want you to have good information. I want you to know the real deal. And the real deal is that the wealthy entrepreneurs that you want to join, the people whose businesses you look up to, $10,000 is nothing to them. Like $100,000 a day, $100,000 a month, $1 million a year. They're playing in the big leagues, and you can be in the big leagues too, but you got to shift your money mentality. You have to be able to say, like me, $10,000 is no money. I got to work 3 months for my employer to make that. Who wants to work 3 months for that? I want to work 1 hour and make $10,000. So if you want to join the ranks of people who make that kind of money, that kind of $10,000 and $100,000 in a short amount of time, so they don't have to think it's a lot of money, because it's not, because they learn how to leverage their business. They've learned how to grow their boutique, their shop to the place where they're making big money. Their employees are not getting rich, but they are. If you want to join that and get this kind of mentality to where you're not scared to invest in yourself, you're not afraid to invest in your business, or even if you are afraid, you do it anyway, then you and I need to have a conversation. Book a call. My calendar is below, MelanieHunter.com/chat. I'm looking for winners. I'm looking for women who refuse to be denied. I'm looking for people who are tired of working 3 months to make $10,000, but would rather make $10,000 every week selling your dream merchandise, whatever it is you want to sell in your boutique. Because the bottom line is, retail entrepreneurs can make that kind of money if you know what but it's not going to happen by accident. It's not going to happen by luck. You need to know what you're doing. You need a system that you can follow that's going to help you step by step to know what to do, so you don't waste money and waste time on things that don't work. But you got to start, and you got to talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about. That's why I've opened up my calendar. Again, MelanieHunter.com/chat. That's where you need to go. And we'll have a conversation. We'll see if we're fit to work together to help you launch your boutique successfully, profitably, Who's got 10 years to waste trying to figure it out on your own and still end up screwing some stuff up? I don't want that for you. But you have to want better for yourself. So I'm looking for who is sick of making your employer rich. Because guess what? When they're paying you $20 an hour, guess how much they make in an hour? $1,000 an hour. It's insane what business owners can make. But you're not going to get there playing small. You're not going to get there thinking $10,000 is a lot of money. Sis, it's not. It's not. You're going to have to invest a whole lot more than that in your business to make $500,000. It's not going to come easy. You're going to have to borrow money. You're going to have to pull some money out of your nest egg. You're going to have to go out and earn it. And if you're not okay with that, entrepreneurship might not be for you. I'm looking for people who want to be entrepreneurs, who want to create jobs, who want to take on that risk, who look for the place where most people won't go and say, my opportunity is just on the other side of all of this. It kind of makes me scared. Because here's what's true. Entrepreneurship is not free of fear. A really wealthy entrepreneur is a little afraid every day of their life. They just learn how to operate in the fear. So if you're afraid to invest $10,000 in your business, ma'am, it's never going to get easier. It's never going to get less scary. You just got to be willing to do it anyway. And if you got somebody walking with you hand by hand through the process, that can take away a lot of the angst, because now you don't have to worry about, I'm going to make all these mistakes and waste all this money and lose my shirt. You can make a lot fewer mistakes. You're going to make them. That's just life. That's just business. There's no guarantees. COVID has proved that to us. But you can make a lot fewer mistakes and make sure that your boutique is set up for success. Let's have a conversation. And this conversation is free. It doesn't cost $10,000 to talk to me. And that's the good thing. MelanieHunter.com/chat. Put appointment on my calendar. I'd love to talk to you. Fill out the application that pops up afterwards. And let's get your business ready. We're about to go into, well, let's see. We're in quarter 3. Quarter 4 starts October the 1st. The year is more than half over. And if you had a dream of doing all these great things in 2021 and yet you're still at ground zero, it's not too late. You can do it, but you're not going to do it continuing to do what has not worked up until now. And your first step of your strategy is talking to me, Coach MJ. Book your call now and let's get you moving on your dream. MelanieHunter.com/chat. I look forward to talking to you. Hope you have a magnificent day and we'll chat soon. Take care.